At what age should I give my child a smartphone? My name is Wendy Ologan, and I am your favorite coach that brings you the Tuesday Live every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Welcome to the Cathedral. That's what we call the YouTube channel Humorously. If this is your first time of joining us for this conversation, please put your comment right in the comment section, because today we are going to be showing you interesting aspect of raising your child. You know, every time I get this question, almost every week on a daily basis, when, why, what should I give my child a phone? Thank you, everybody. I see my mom, my most favorite person on planet Earth. Yes. All right. So my mom is here. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you, Yadas. I see you guys. Share this link. Invite your family and friends. Thank you, Lamipo. I see you. Let them join us here live and listen to us. All right. So sorry about that. All righty. So have you invited someone here today? Now, in today's digital age, the decision of when to give your child a phone or what or why is a very significant one, because we're in this space. It is what it is. Now, the essence of this webinar is to guide you through the considerations, guide you through the best practices for determining the right time, addressing the why, addressing the when, and also addressing the what of smartphone readiness. So the why, the when, and the what. Now, parenting in the digital age is a big deal. A lot of parents have been bogged with this question, and they are constantly asking, Coach, when is the right time? When is the right time? But before I give you this answer, I'm sure you're waiting for me to say, when your child is 10, then you give them a phone. But before we get there, I want you to look at this research. According to 2022 Pew Research case study, 95% of teens reportedly, and when we talk about teenagers, we're talking about from 13. In fact, this research says from 10. 95% of them, right, have been reported to have access to smartphones. The average age of a child which they get smartphone today is between 10 and 12, based on various studies. You can check that out. 77% admit to texting, chatting in the night when they should be sleeping. 67%, right, of teachers admit that today's children, teenagers, are distracted by smartphone all the time. Only 15% of parents from research know what their children do online and understand their online habits. 15. That should scare you. 44% of teenagers have been reported to have watched inappropriate things online. And only 24% of them are aware of it. 90% of children between the ages of 8 to 16 have seen porn online. That's the ones that are online. 70% of children who play games, 70%, a whooping 70%, have accidentally seen porn online or while doing their homework. So both people who are playing games and people who are doing their homework, same thing. No matter how bewildering these statistics are, it's important that you know that technology also has its own blessings. So that we're not just stuck in this place where we're just thinking, oh, is it just all the bad things? No. So whether you accept it or not, technology is here to stay. So instead of living in denial, fear, anxiety, that leads to a fire brigade approach when things go wrong, as a result of, overindulging a child, giving a child a phone when they are not prepared, why not go for knowledge? And that's why you're here. If this is your first joining us today, let me see your comment right in the comment section telling me it is my first time. And if you've invited someone, you've shared this link to a group of parents on your status, wherever it is that you need to share it, put a comment in the comment section and say, hi. All righty. So today I'm sharing with you on what? On the why, on the when, a smartphone with a child. The what, the why, and the when of a smartphone with a child. Let's start with the why. Let's start with the why. The why is an interesting aspect of this conversation. Why do you need to consider a phone? Some people say they want to stay in touch with family and friends. Now you have family disintegrated. You're living abroad. Your children live in Nigeria. What do? They need a phone, yeah? Correct. Some people say for safety's sake. You send a child out. You want your child to stay in touch. You want your child to be trackable. You want there to be an emergency contact. Yes. Some people say it's so that my children will access educational apps, resources. Are you saying that my children should not be able to access these things? Some people say it's for social interaction. We need our children to engage with their friends. We need our children to, do stuff and all of that with their friends. And welcome to everyone who is joining us for the first time. We're so glad to have you here. Another one reason, very funny reason, is so that you can meet up. Some of us actually just give our children phone so that they can meet up. One of the reasons could be keeping up with the Joneses, right? This guy, all my friends have smartphones. So I got tired of hearing it. So now at least I won't be that mean parent anymore. So I need to just give my children a phone so that they stop hounding me, yeah? Mm-hmm. Another thing could be they keep borrowing my own phone. I have teenagers, I just got tired of my children always asking me to borrow my phone. Always asking me to borrow my phone. Now they have their own. So I finally get to play my Candy Crush in peace. I want you to identify the table where you are on. Right? I want you to identify your own table and own it. So that when we break the leg, you can find another table to climb on. Another one is, I've heard parents say, I just need somebody, I want my children to be techie. Somebody who will help me, they know technology. I want to give them a smartphone so that they can help me, troubleshoot mine and all of that. Another reason is for the sake of family peace. I've heard that before. Somebody said to me, Coach, the constant fight over screen time between siblings, it just drives me nuts. So I had to just give them, each of them, a cheaper phone, right? A phone that they could access. At least it's cheaper than paying for therapy. It was a very funny conversation. But yes, it's a reason. Another one is they outgrew the toy phone. The toy phone is not really, doesn't really have things that they need and all of that. So they used to play with the toy phone, but now it's so babyish. We need to upgrade to a real thing. So I gave them a phone. Another reason is so that I can find them in the grocery store. So I'm tired of finding a child who has wandered off in the grocery store. So now, if I call them, I just follow the ringtone. Problem solved. Mm-hmm. Another reason is so that to stop the "are we there yet" question. Now, You know, when you are traveling, your children are in the car, and then they keep saying, "Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Who had that?" So when you're traveling, you just give your children all manner of gadgets, and then let them stay in the car, and they're just surfing. So that way you have peace. Nobody's asking you, "Are you there yet?" So they're entertained. So your children are constantly being entertained. So you get some quiet, according to you, is a win-win. Then the next one is so that you can avoid the phone jail tantrum. You got tired of taking your phone, because your children would stop crying after screen time was up, right? So now they cannot manage their own screen time with limits and all of that. And then the last one, I've heard a parent say to me, so that I will be able to text my children from their room. So my children never actually want to leave their room. So it is easier. Now, they just get a text from me that I need something. So I don't need to shout down the hall, right? So, and then you just say, our house is so big. I don't need to start screaming. I just send the text and they come over. You see all of these reasons? All of these reasons, they are valid reasons. But they are reasons that can actually cripple the process of your parenting. Now, I've been in a house where there's no interaction. When it's dinner time, you get a text. And then you come. Some people come at that time. Some people come at the time when they want. So everybody comes downstairs when they want, and so when the house when the house is going to become bigger, bigger, it becomes even more. It becomes more troubling to build connection. So let's go. Now, these are some of the whys. You need to decide my why as we go. You will decide, is my why tangible enough? And some people is also for competition. The bragging right. All my children have their own tablet. They even do it with television. All my children have televisions in their rooms. So to be clear, we're talking about screen. Whether it's smartphone, whether it's screen TV, whether it's tablets, they are in the same category. Because the kind of TVs we have today are smart TVs. They have the same effect a smartphone will have on the brain. And since we are going to be looking at, the negative effect, the age limits and all of that, we're going to actually include all of it. Now, the what. Let's go to the what. The setting the stage. What do you need to consider before you even expose your child to any kind of screen? So my point is not whether it's smartphone or it's not. So the problem is not really a phone in particular. The problem is even screen. So I've seen children who are not they don't own a smartphone, but they are addicted to the screen. Have you seen? I've seen toddlers addicted to TV. Until Coco Melon, maybe that's what they call it now. And I just realized that I'm becoming old. Until Coco Melon, I didn't know what Coco Melon was when my children were kids. Until Coco Melon plays, that your toddler will not eat. Until one TV, that your toddler will never become. So the only thing that calms your toddler is when you open that Coco Melon on TV, on screen, on iPad, or on your phone. Is that your child? It is the same thing. Your child is addicted. It doesn't have to be a phone to be addicted to screen. Coco Melon and Peppa Pig, Miss Rachel. And for the record, I hope we also know that LGBTQ is infused in most of those things that our children are watching. So your children from day one are being groomed to note that being gay is okay. That then gender diaspora is okay. And then you begin to feel that you're a girl. You no longer want to be a girl, you want to be a boy. you know that this media, these things you're putting them to watch, actually propagate it. Even when my children were toddlers, some 14, 13, 12 years ago, my children were not, I've never been able to understand this putting children in front of a cartoon, an endless DSTV or an endless YouTube channel. I've never been able to actually understand it. Because we had media curated that they watched at a particular time. And I can even only remember when they were about 5. So we would create it, we would play it so that they can actually watch it. So the media was regulated. So now we have a lot of unregulated media. And of course, that is it. Without it, our children are also, all that. And remember that this is Pride Month. So because it's also Pride Month, everything your child is watching in Pride Month has LGBTQ propagation in it. So be aware so that you know. But that's not, the main conversation, right? Your children are gradually being indoctrinated slowly. The problem is not just indoctrination. The problem is that we are not giving our own value. That's the problem. Whether the world has bought this, the world has bought it. So it's not something you're going to fight. It's something you actually fight with knowledge and with your own, value system, right? So what setting the stage? What do you consider? Number one, rules and boundaries. Have you been able to create a media plan? Even before your children get to the age of using a smartphone, there should have been a plan of what and things and why things should be watched and how. If your child already had a free flow of TV all day, trust me, no matter their age, whatever it is that you give to your child, even if they're 18, that addiction will be there. Did you hear me? It doesn't matter their age. So if you're not able to deal with that TV now and be able to create a media system in your home, and your media plan is simply a set of systems that guide how media is viewed and what and where and how. I was sharing earlier that one of the reasons parents give their children smartphone is so that when you're traveling, so people will not be saying, are you, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Now, in my home, it is a rule that you don't travel and your personal electronics, never. Gadgets, never. It's either you're doing a book or you're looking around because you need to build your situational awareness skills. And we travel a lot. Every time while we are in the airport, I see children, teenagers, lost inside their gadget. Now, you are only training that teenager that when they get this tool, that they will not have control over. It's a training. So it's not about whether they will use it now. No, it's okay. They are assessing. No, it's actually about the future. So if you're not able to set the stage, that's why the word is called setting the stage. What to consider beforehand. Now, this is for people who their children are not already, old. But if your child is already in the space where you have already made this mistake, you actually need to go back and recreate your media plan and start reteaching it. One of the things you're going to be learning at Sex Educate Your Child Like a Pro, which we, by the way, opened up a wait list, and that wait list, the flash sale is happening tomorrow. So one of the things that you're going to be learning is how to actually look at screen time and why tech conversation is sex conversation. It's sex conversation. So it is important that you look at these rules. So even your toddlers now, they don't go anywhere. Your toddlers can't go anywhere without a gadget. you have missed it. Your preteens don't go anywhere without a gadget. You've missed it. That means they can't deal without a gadget. I look around in church all the time and I see children with all sorts of gadgets. iPad, name it. I know a lot of people have told me, I know somebody was telling me, we live abroad, abroad you really need to, because when the children are working alone, what are you talking about? I've seen people, I know people who understand the concept of not giving a child a smartphone before they are ready, actually be able to walk through it. It's not a location problem. I read somewhere the other day where it was being pushed that in the UK, children should not be given phone before 16. I laughed. We've been saying it for a long time. We've been saying it for a long time that children, actually that is something. I'm almost 40, right? I'm just halfway. It's not halfway. I'm just midnight to 40. And most of us at this age are still struggling with this device. And then you give it to a child, right, who is not logical enough. Do you know that the brain where logic sits doesn't fully develop till 26? So how do you expect your child to actually make logical decisions? So you see that there's a lot of training, even if you're giving your child a phone at 18. So the problem is not just the age. The problem is the training. Do you have a contract? So we have a media plan in the academy. I'm sure the parents in the inner circle, one of the first things you create is a media plan. When you get into the inner circle, right? A lot of the things that you hear, we force you to, we ensure that you create family value. We ensure that you create media plan. Most people don't know why until in this month. Most people don't know why until in this month. So they now say, coach, I know why you now say we should create a media plan. Until you actually create a media plan, you've not started that conversation. So I hear a lot of people, right? A lot of people say to me, oh, I've started that conversation with my children, and you do not have a media plan. No, you're joking. Because you are in a tech world. You are in a tech world. You cannot do such conversation without media plan. A few days ago, I was teaching the parents in the inner circle about the non-touching types of sex abuse. And what is the source of non-touching side of them? One of the sources, just one of the sources, is media. Pornography is sex abuse. When a 7-year-old, a 5-year-old is watching porn, and I'm not making it up, I'm sharing with you things that I have seen. Recently, someone, reached out to me, and I just realized my child has been watching porn for the past 2 years with his siblings. This child is 7. So it is important that you actually begin to look at the consequences beyond all the, what is it? I know what it is that I'm doing. There should be clear rules. There should be a written, in my home, there's a written contract that is outlining the expectation of your use of media. And then when you're going to get a phone eventually, you have a written contract. The guidelines of when, where, consequences, clearly defined consequences for breaking those rules. Involvement. Our children are going to get involved in creating our media plan because they're old enough. And those media plans also apply to us. No, we don't run a home where we say, no, it's for the children. No, the problem is that you create some of these things and then you now sit back and say, this is for the children. We've lived our own life. The children are looking at you, they will emulate you. Setting limits on screen time and all of that. Now, there is safety and security under setting the stage. Are you teaching your children how to be a digital citizen online? Now, let me tell you what happens. When you finish teaching your children how to consume, because that's what you're doing when you put them on the TV from morning till night. When you finish teaching them how to consume, when they come, they are ready to own this smartphone. They come on social media, they become consumers. They do not understand how to actually give. They don't understand how to contribute. And for you to actually raise a contributory child, it needs to start from when they were even young. And in their consumption, you need to teach them what they need to do. In my home, part of our media plan is that if you do not have anything to offer, you don't go on social media. Clearly, you have no business being there. So you need to actually clearly define what it is and what you want your children to do. And this is the time you start teaching better responsibility. Your children need to know the importance of communication and how to communicate. Look on social media, because a lot of us didn't get that education. Many of us are rude, crass, talk anyhow, insult people, because for us, they've given us access to just press. And what are they even saying? Idiot, foolish. Why will you just say all sorts of things? Our children are going to be like that if they are not trained to become good digital citizens. One of the things that make me laugh is when the chips are down, right? Many years down the line, right? You're going to actually have these things. They will say something about your child. They'll say, this is what the mother said online. How many years ago? You don't know that you're leaving a digital footprint for your children. So everything you say on social media, no matter how trivial, it's on you. So your children will need to understand it. But you need to even understand it first. Because you are just there consuming. So if you do not understand, I remember when our first daughter was supposed to get a phone, one of the very first things was, what's your contribution? What are you going there to do? If you do not have a contribution, you will scroll endlessly. And that's why most of us are on social media scrolling. And then when we now see something that just triggers, idiot, nonsense, you just write it, and just go your way. Meanwhile, you do not know that you're leaving digital footprints everywhere. Digital footprints that can affect your future and the future of your children. I was listening to Rihanna recently, and she was saying that she regrets putting her name. I had a good laugh. Now that she has it, I was like, interesting. We do not recognize how much we should actually share, how much is too much. And then you have educational and positive use. I've talked about that. You need to actually teach your children how to use the gadgets. Now, the when. Assessing readiness. When is the right time? Is it about age? Giving your child the phone is never about age. If you give your child the phone according to age only, you will ruin that child for life, no matter their age. Let me say that again. Somebody help me put that in the comment section. Giving a child a smartphone, it's never about their age. If age is your only consideration for giving your child a phone, you will destroy them without knowing. So you want to actually, all right, begin to take a look at the things that you need. What are the things that will assess readiness? What are the things that will assess whether you are ready or not? Number one is maturity and responsibility. In our home, there is a plan, there is a value, there is a family dynamic, there's an age consideration of 18. However, even with the age, you must be able to meet up these criteria. Number one is maturity and responsibility. No, I'm not going to a child that I cannot ascertain their maturity level and the ability to handle responsibility. I'll just hand you over a phone. No, I won't do that. How do you assess a child's level of maturity and how they can handle responsibility? Number one, self-regulation. Assessing your child's level of responsibility Evaluate how well your child can manage their impulses. Can they stop playing a game when they are asked to? Can they limit their own screen time without constant supervision? See, if you're still trying to carry your DSTV, you remove it and go to work, and you are still wanting to give your child phone, you will kill the child. So your child's ability to self-regulate is the key aspect of whether that child is ready or not. Number two, your child's ability to understand consequences, actions, and consequences. You need to determine whether your child can comprehend long-term implication of actions. Do they understand that when I share a personal information, it can be dangerous? Do they know that? Do they understand consequences? Do they get it when they are in a space and they need to look around? Do they understand situational awareness? That's number three. Do they understand situational awareness? You are in a place. You understand that if I make this move now, I might be in danger. If I go this way, I might be in danger. One of my friends said how he put himself in, sharing about a story of how somebody wanted to dupe him, one of the Uber guys or something. Oh, the guy charged him to court. So much to pay because the guy actually accused him of false information and then sharing his private pictures without a consent. He didn't know that. He didn't get it. So without situational awareness, without understanding your environment, without understanding the rules and consequences, you can make a mess. Do you know that simple cultural intelligence can actually save your child when your child eventually comes on the internet world? Understanding what to do where. You have a child who actually doesn't really understand what happens in an environment. Then you give them a phone. They've not finished studying their own environment. You give them a phone to go online in a free-for-all. You know what WWW means? World Wide Web. Worldwide. You give your children access to the world. Access to the world. That's what you're doing. So if your child doesn't understand, your child is still, the child that, as they're going, they don't know their left, they don't know their right, they don't understand what's happening, they don't even know their environment. You want to give them a phone. The next one is emotional stability. Under maturity and responsibility. Can your child handle the emotional ups and downs of social media interaction without becoming agitated or without breaking down mentally? Most of us, somebody will say something, chat something on our timeline. You're agitated, your whole body, or you post something, you're agitated. I once had, a mentee of mine whose child was an online celebrity, big one, big time, right? And then this child was, this child should be like around 5 or 6, I can't even remember. This child was struggling, firing on different places. Then they brought the child online. The child started to talk to people online. The child would put out, she even talks about fashion or, mixed things. The child started to have issues with her self-esteem. She couldn't withstand what was happening. She would come and cry. She was about 10 this time. She would come and cry. Nobody, spoke to her well. How people were insensitive on her post. She would come and cry. How nobody has liked her post. So she would post something. She would continue scrolling, and somebody liked it. Is it okay? Are people responding? How do you do that to a child? And when the mother came to me and said, you know what? Shut it down. Do you know why child celebrities, do you know why they make a mess? Inability to, inability to actually manage emotions. Go and read, see Michael Jackson. See the guy, what's his name, who did Home Alone? Most of them actually end up in drugs. I was watching Richard. That's the story of Serena Williams and the father. And he was saying in that movie, he was saying that I know how child celebrities end up. They end up in drugs. They end up, being mentally shattered. I don't want that for my children. I want a life for them. Unfortunately, we're bringing our children into the same state by giving them a phone. Some of us have as much as 10,000 followers. I once met a former colleague. The daughter is 13, and the daughter has on TikTok 50,000 followers. I felt bad for both the girl and the parent. And throughout where the girl was on the phone. On the phone. And I was like, what have they done to this child? And they were bragging about it. My daughter has, many followers, or people who, talk to her, people. I was like, wow. Wow. Such an ignorant thing to do. That child, most of our children, isn't ready. Isn't ready. The emotional stability that comes with being, having this smartphone is a whole lot. That's why you have wondered, the tech giants, why is it that their children don't own smartphones? The likes of Bill Gates, the likes of, what's his name, Steve Jobs, because they understand what it is that this thing can do to you. I remember many years ago when I started talking about screen addiction, and I remember one, renowned parent coach around the world started saying, no, I gave my children, phones at 12 and they're doing okay. They are doing so well. They are managing it. 3 years down the line, she came out to actually say, plead to her audience, to say, please, forgive me that I gave you that advice, to give a 12-year-old this. I didn't know any better. The thing almost ruined my parenting process. I smiled when I saw the video. I remember being dragged for saying something counter. The truth of the matter is, if we really sit down to actually study, right? To actually study some of these things, you would begin to understand that there is a readiness for a child before you get there. What are the indicators of readiness? What are the indicators of readiness? And some of us who also say, no, my children don't have a phone, but they use your phone. It's the same thing, master. Are you on that table? My children don't have phone, no. They don't have access. I've never given them. But they are always on your phone. Somebody asked me, oh, maybe when the children just touch your phone, something. I said, my children don't touch my phone. It does not belong to them. If they need to do something online, they have laptop, and then they monitor to use their laptop. Why are you using my phone? So if your child is using your phone, it's the same thing. Same thing. Your child have the same. The child who has a phone has. Yeah? Mm-hmm. Let's go on. What are the indicators for readiness? Number one indicator for readiness is ability to follow instructions clearly. Can this child adhere to, instructions? Can this child adhere to respecting boundaries? All right? Can this child, oh, Mary Beth, it's true. I remember Mary Beth's, son, who is, very, very much, out there. And I remember how he was calling, these things that we say, oh, my children is out, my child is there. He's out there and all of that. Slow down. No, slow down. You need to actually manage these things, especially for those of us who actually have child celebrities, in quotes. Right? But that's by the way. Now, can the child follow instructions? Can this child follow instructions? Following instructions is that you keep your phone here and the child doesn't touch it. It's part of it. That's part of it. That's part of it. So if you are able, and it didn't start, we started from when our children were toddlers. You pick up our phone, we tell you, these people say, I gave my child phone, let them watch Cocomola. We didn't do it. We didn't do it. Did it mean that our children are not tech savvy? No. Our children are very tech savvy. They started creating PowerPoint slides when they were 6. They're very tech savvy. Your child does not need to. That your child is on social media doesn't make them tech savvy. Let me say that again. That your child is on social media does not make them tech savvy. Being tech savvy is different from being social media savvy. Most of your children are just social media. They don't know what is on this phone to use. They just know how to go on TikTok, dance, post, and that's it. That's not tech. That's just you consuming a tech product. That's all. So you can use Instagram. You can use Facebook. You're on WhatsApp. It's just you consuming tech. So when our children pick up our phone from day one, say, this is not a toy. You keep it. Here is your toy. Our children know not to just carry our phone. Teenagers today, they don't come and say, I just want to use your phone. Why? My phone is not a toy. It's not your own. When you get yours, you can use it. That's part of the training. That's part of the process. Can your children follow instructions? Can they adhere to the things that have been said? I see parents say, oh, and I'm very disciplined. When I'm going out, I unplug all the gadgets, unplug PS5, I unplug, which other one? DSTV, I take my card along. I'm a very disciplined parent. You are not disciplined. Diama, Diasta. You are not disciplined. You are just a bailout. You're bailing them from actually being able to build discipline. For us, discipline is just about aggression. No, it's not. Your children need to actually be able to be there, see those things, and have the restraint not to do them. That's the real discipline. So if you're still, charging, getting, all those things, and not putting it and just packaging and saying, no, I'm hiding it away. I'm hiding it away. If you're still hiding it away, you've not started. You've not started. The number 2 is, can your child manage time? Time management is another indicator of readiness. A child who effectively manages their homework, their chores, and is able to use extracurricular activities, it shows that they can create the balance. It shows that they can create the balance. So it is important that you begin to put these things in place. So instead of rushing to go and say, when my child is 12, I'll just give it. That's not an indicator. The first thing you want to do is to get them ready. Are you raising children who are ready to use this gadget? Are you raising children that just wake up? The way we do this gadget is that you wake up one day, you just look at around the children, and then you say, you are ready, you are 18. Oh yeah, take, your phone. Do you know what you've done? It's like buying a car and giving your 18-year-old, because they turned 18, without training them how to drive. Giving a child a phone just because they turned a particular age is akin to giving them a car key for them to drive just because they turned 18. So if that is you, you are destroying your child. The fact that your child is 18 or is a certain age is not the asset that your child needs. So somebody's asking, how about a situation where school give assignment to do and I need to do online research? Why not? Sit down if you have a laptop, monitor, sit down and let the children with a trusted adult. People say, oh, is it that I trust my children, they will not do anything online? Trust. Is that a joke? You can trust your child. Can you trust the online system? Can you trust the people, what is going to pop up? How do you trust what is on the web? Yes, you trust your children, it's beautiful. How do you trust what is on the web, which is the problem? That's where the problem is. So let your children be monitored if they have to use the internet. It's as simple as that. People say, are you going to? Yes, you need to monitor. So in situation where they need to do assignment, let there be a trusted adult. Must I be there all the time? Oh, well, in the time where you are actually training your children, you need to be time. Because time is a currency of destiny. It's as simple as that. The next one is I've talked about time management. A child cannot manage time. You carry phone and give them. I don't know what it is you want to actually do to the child. And which is why many of us are struggling with our phones. We lack time management. We didn't learn it. So now you're on the phone scrolling. You scroll and scroll. I was teaching the parents in the inner circle about time management. And then one of the killers of time is this phone. You find out that you're not productive. You're just scrolling through. You're not using your time to watch what is relevant. Some of us use our time to just watch skits. You just watch skits. You just skit it away. And then time is going. Then the last one, decision-making skill. Decision-making skills. Children who can make good decisions independently, like choosing appropriate content to watch, knowing when to stop playing games, that's a sign, an indicator of readiness. That's an indicator of readiness. Can your children actually make choices and say, it is time to stop watching? Whether we are home or not, you won't see my children watching appropriate content. It's a training. And we're still training them. We're still in the space where we're training them. There have been times where people have come to our house and told our son, let's just play game online and all of that. And then our son will say, no, it's not allowed in our home. We don't play online games except we have an adult with us. And it's not allowed in our home. The French pressure, it doesn't really matter. They will not know. My son said, no way. Your child actually needs to get to a point where they can make decisions on their own, to choose a choice. A choice. To choose. It's not what you're choosing for them. You can see that it's not about just the age. And then there's now the age consideration. Because you're going to be considering the age, you will need to look at developmental milestones. Developmental milestones. How do you begin to look at the milestones of your child, right, in development? Children who are about 16 have been able to develop better abstract thinking and problem-solving skills. That's skilled that my children are. My children are highly skilled, even at their age. 14, highly responsible, skilled. I won't still give them a phone. Because there is a developmental milestone consideration. I recognize that at their age, problem solving and deep thinking and abstract thinking is something they use, but there's still something that they need to still learn. So it makes it easier for them, right, to actually understand and navigate complexities when they are at that place. I already said that logically the brain is not fully developed until 26. So your children making logical calls. You will see that puberty will make logical calls for some children being online. Recently, we've been dealing with a whole lot of online mess. And that's why every year, when we're doing the Let's Educate Your Child Like a Pro, we teach in-depthly on media. We're able to constantly link tech. The LGBTQ movement, How did it sell? Media. They didn't need any other thing. It sold in media, both online media and offline media. Go to the libraries. If you live abroad now, if you go to the libraries abroad in June, you will see pride everywhere. Even the clothes, pride clothes for babies. Even the, their awareness. They are creating an awareness for your child and indoctrinating them. Why are you not ruthless in your own awareness? I was talking to the parents in the inner circle. I said, why are you not bringing everybody in your child's school to come and learn about sex educate your child like a pro? Every year I bring my children are in boarding school. I bring the house pastors. I bring the metron. I bring the teachers, because this aspect of my parents can actually be made a mess. Do you know that you can give your child something to watch to teach another thing? So that day was somebody shared something on bullying in the yard, and when you open it, it was just indoctrination of the LGBTQ. That's it. Why are we not pushing as hard? Why are we not coming out with, everything in us to actually make sure that our children are learning the right way to do things? Why are we allowing the media to just dictate what it is that, can be out there? There are clean media still. Can't you just do the little job to actually be able to also get your children to begin to see things differently? So the developmental milestone is very, very key. It is very important for you to actually begin to look at things differently. I'm sure that most of us who are watching us here are ready for the flat sale for Sex Educate Your Child Like a Pro. All right? Sex Educate Your Child Like a Pro. Sex Educate Your Child Like a Pro is a challenge that we do yearly. Every year, we do Sex Educate Your Child Like a Pro, and we look at the different aspects of sex. This year is different. Even if you've attended Sex Educate Your Child Like a Pro for 3 years, you will see the different dimension. This year, we're incorporating cultural awareness. We're incorporating body safety. We're incorporating the LGBTQ conversations. We're incorporating the systems around actually helping your child. You know what? It's when I ask parents, have you been doing such conversations? Parents say, coach, I've been teaching my child. I've told them about kissing, about touching people. Sex conversation is not about the mechanics of sex. It is beyond the mechanics of sex, because sex does not start with the parts. Sex doesn't start with the parts. So that's why every time we're talking about this conversation, we're very passionate about it, because it is the media. That's where we will use. So you need to actually now begin to look at this, part. The second part, which is social development, which is part of the system. Social development. Social development. A child entering teenage years, their social circle expands. The ability to maintain social connections through texting, through social media, becomes more relevant. Has your child developed a good social connection? So it's very interesting how we actually, do some of these things, and we just tell ourselves, these things don't matter and all of that. Well, newsflash. The truth is, this is a key factor of whether you use this gadget well or not. Whether you're not going to use this gadget well or not. So, is your child by giving children who are socially awkward a gadget? How do you do that? Emotional development. Sorry about that. Emotional development. Please, can I still be seen? Can I still be seen? Please confirm. Confirm that you can still see me. So sorry about that. So sorry. I went off my network. I don't know what happened, but please stay here. Emotional development, emotional maturity is crucial in handling potential stress. Is your child matured enough to actually be able to handle it? Right? There is now family dynamics and knowledge. That's the part I want you to pay attention to. Family dynamics and knowledge. Your family value, your expectation, what you know will be a huge determining factor whether your child will be able to actually do this, handle a phone well or not. The question that you need to now ask today is, can my child actually do this? Is it possible that my child will be able to withstand all of this? What is the expectation in my home? What is the technological philosophy in our home? What is the plan? And then if this plan is this plan must be consistent. This plan must be consistent. Somebody help me put that in the comment section. This plan must be consistent. This is so key because your children will need to not say, oh no, you now gave this person phone earlier. You didn't give me. All of that can be avoided. All right? If you actually know exactly what it is that you need to do. Okay? So this is very important for you to actually look at. And then role modeling. Part of the family dynamics is also the role model. How are you modeling what it is for your child to also do all of that? Somebody is asking, how can I join the Sex Educate Your Child Like a Pro? Join the wait list. There is a flat sale happening tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're going to have a flat sale. And in that flat sale, we will be having all of the details. I'm going to play this video for you so that you will see all of the details you need for Sex Educate Your Child Like a Pro. The details, you can just send the chat if you don't already, you're not already in the wait list. You are going to pay, this video is going to really explain. Let's watch it so it makes it easier. Wait list of Sex Educate Your Child Like a Pro challenge. Now, a lot of people are wondering, why am I here? What is the flash sale about? Sex Educate Your Child Like a Pro. 4 years ago, we started what we call the Sex Educate Your Child Like a Pro challenge, a movement in which we have used to counter the kind of sex conversation that is out there. Over the years, I've heard parents teach children, here is your public part, don't allow anybody to touch your private part. And some of those conversations are wrong. So we started the movement called Sex Educate Your Child Like a Pro challenge. And then every year, we go a step not further to share different concepts of sex. One of the things I would have learned over the years is that parents think that sex conversation is about the mechanisms of sex, but it's not. It is much, much more than that. So this year, we are going on with another new set of conversations on sex conversations again. Now, you are in the flash sale because you have opted to join the Sex Educate Your Child Like a Pro challenge, but you want to meet up with the flash sale on Wednesday. So come Wednesday, we're opening up the registration and we're opening it up with a flash sale. The price to be able to come into the Sex Educate Your Child Like a Pro challenge is 15,000 naira. But for that flash sale, between 12 noon and 2 p.m. We're going to be opening up the Sex Educate Your Child Like a Pro challenge for that one-time flash sale. That's why it's a flash. So it's going to come in a flash. So you get to pay 299 naira only instead of 15,000. Translation, you get to pay $3 instead of $15. Now, let's step it down, a bit more. Apart from you just getting access to joining the Sex Educate Your Child Like a Pro challenge, paying virtually, nothing compared to how much the original fee is, you get 2 guides. We've created 2 different guides called Guided Fingers and Guided Hands. We created the Guided Fingers is a conversation for mothers, right? What you're supposed to say to your children concerning vaginal care, your daughters, and puberty. Now, Guided Fingers is for fathers to sons, conversations on penis care and puberty. You're going to be we're launching those books on the same day of the flash sale, and each costs 3,000 naira each. So the 2 of them will cost you 6,000 naira to get. But here is the deal. The deal is that if you meet up with the flash sale, you get to get these guides free. You heard me. Coach, are you really sure? Yes. So we want you to actually get into the Sex Educate Your Child Like a Pro within that window with free, literally. In fact, we want to give back to you. Then that's not all. We also have a course called Walking Your Child Through Puberty. We created this course during the pandemic. And one of the things that this course did for parents is actually to be able to understand what it is that your child is going through and how to help them walk through during puberty only. So this course have sold for 30,000 naira over the years. We've made money, rinse and repeat on this course. But this year, I want to give this course free to you only if you can meet up with the flash sale. Remember that we said that the flash sale is between 12 noon and 2 p.m. If you meet up with it, you get access to these freebies. That is not all. Within the window of the flash sale, if you're registering more than 10 people, for instance, you're registering people from your child's school, you're registering people from your church, and you're registering as a group, you get a further 10% discount. You're wondering what this is about. We actually want you to have proper sex conversations with your children, not just the one that you just, throw out there, just say anything, or the one you assumed, or even the ones that your parents taught you, because our parents actually did a lot of wrong sex conversations. Now, you're wondering, so after this thing, what next? You will still get access to the 5-module course of Sex Educate Your Child Like a Pro challenge, which is going to start on the 1st of July, right? 1st to 5th of July, 2024. So after you get all these freebies, you still stay in that group, and then we will still bring you that access to that course. Even if you've attended this course before, trust me, it is nothing like you've seen before, because we've realized that sex conversations is very fluid. Every year, you get to share something, right, about sex differently. This year, we're doing 5 modules. We're going to be sharing with you on module 1 on understanding body safety. We're going to be doing introduction to body safety, what it is, why it matters, the 5 body safety rules. We're going to be telling you what that is, how to say no and seek help. We're going to be sharing with you worksheets that you're going to be using to actually have conversations with your child instantly. Even if you've not started this conversation before, even if your child is 2, the moment you attend just the one, your conversation starts, you start running, because that's how we work. Our courses are delivered with so much excellence. We are now going to still talk about communicating with your child about sex in the same module 1. What we're going to be talking about age appropriateness. What do you say to a 2-year-old? Do you know that there is age appropriate porn conversation even for your 2-year-old? Then we're going to be dealing with phrases you should never say to your child. When somebody touches you, come and tell me immediately. Do you know that that phrase can disempower your child? You're wondering how? I'll show you. When somebody don't allow somebody to touch your private part, do you know that that's very disempowering to your child? You're wondering how? I will tell you, right? Now, under that communication, you also, we're going to be also be talking about listening and responding. How do you respond? Your child says something to you. How do you respond to it? We're also going to be working on module 2, empowering your child. So I'm not teaching alone. I have other coaches who are going to be teaching with me. Coach Tima, who is a girls coach, is going to be talking about empowering your child, and she's going to be talking about building self-esteem. There are 10 self-concepts when it comes to sex conversation: self-esteem, self-control, and 8 others. You want to come to class and you want to learn it. She's going to be talking about teaching assertiveness, encouraging independence, and gender-specific conversation, mother and daughters. How do you actually have conversations on menstrual health, vaginal health, personal boundaries, and all of the rest? And then we move to module 3. Now, module 3 is going to be talking about how to handle conversations about LGBTQ. Do you know it's Pride Month? Yes, LGBTQ is lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer community, and gender dysphoria. Gender dysphoria is gender confusion. A lot of our children are confused, right now, where there's a lot of confusion. I want to be a boy or girl. They are told that they can be anything. How do you begin to bridge this conversation? God forbid, that is not a strategy. Coach Ebuka is going to be sharing on this. Coach Ebuka is a boys coach, and he will be sharing on introducing LGBTQ issues, the terminology, the importance of this knowledge, understanding gender dysphoria. If your child experiences it, what are you going to do? Some of us, our children are actually having gender dysphoria, and we don't know. And then she is also going to be addressing bullying, discrimination, and then he will be talking about why fathers and sons must have this conversation and why it's important. So addressing changes in the body, penis care, importance of pressure, and all of the rest of things you need to learn. And then we have module 4, where we're going to be talking about creating safe and drug-free environment for your child, for bringing the expert, the drug coach himself, David Folarami, who will be taking us on how you can create home safety practices, how you can create safe online behaviors, how you can build a safety network, right? And also how you can also create drug-free lifestyles. And then we have the last module, which will be the 5th day, where I will be teaching recognizing touching and non-touching forms of sexual abuse. Do you know that there is a non-touching form of sexual abuse, and most of our children are not abused, are being abused by this kind of abuse? So I'm going to be teaching you how you will recognize this abuse, what you need to do, how to respond, if there's a need for legal, response and resources. Where do you get them? I'm going to be showing you all of that. The beautiful thing, every single one of these conversations is coming with a worksheet. Do you need to pay again for it? Nah. All you need to do is pay $2.99 on Wednesday between 12 noon and 2 p.m. The moment you are able to get in to pay $2.999, right? You have all of these things that I've said. And the beautiful thing, you have access to these classes in the next 365 days. Are you really sure, coach? Yes. That is why I'm called Africa's #1 parent coach. It's not for naught. We give you value that is irresistible. We give you value that you can't even pay for. Most times, when people finish attending Sex Educate Your Child Like a Pro, they come back to us feeling guilty. I didn't pay enough. Can I pay something? Can I just, do something? Don't pay us. What we are asking you is avail yourself. Get this message out to everybody. Make sure that everybody gets to hear this, video. Share with your community. Share with your family and friends. Get them into the waitlist. See you on Wednesday. where we will do the announcement for the wait list for the flash sale, right? Flash sale. Yes, the team said flash sale, flash sale. So you pay 2,999 instead of 15,000 naira. Remember, after that flash sale, you pay 15,000 naira. And trust me, $15, 3,299, that's like $3. So if you miss paying the $3 on Wednesday, by Thursday, you get to pay us 15,000. And even if you pay 100,000, trust me, you'll be glad that you accessed these things. Thank you so much for joining us. See you on Wednesday. My name is Wendy Ologi, and I'm the founder of the Intentional Parent Academy. See you on Wednesday. So I guess that explains very well what it is the flash sale is about. The sex educate your child like a pro. The goodies are no, you're not dreaming. No, you're not dreaming. Actually, we're giving you when you're not even paying us. We're actually that one of the interesting things about this particular challenge. Every year, we do it as our own, gift. So you're going to get gift worth over 50,000 naira in exchange for 299. So minus your 299 and then from your 50,000. So you should be owing us, right? At the end of the day. So set your alarm. This is only happening tomorrow between 12 and 2. Don't miss it. If you miss it, you will pay the fee, right? The original fee. And like I said in that video, even if you pay the original fee, it is still worth it anytime, any day. Get your family and friends. And if you're paying for more than 10 people, you get a further discount of 10%. Abba now. Abba. So this is it, right? We just want to educate your child like a pro. We just want you to be committed, right? If not, this is free. We want you to be committed to it. It is a movement more than it's just a course or a challenge. We want you to come ready. We want you to come ready. How do you pay? Join the wait list. The announcement will be made tomorrow. So because of people in diaspora, we've been told if we do 12 to 2, we're going to actually might have a little bit of, people might not be able to be awake in some parts. So we're going to give a window, but we're going to be announcing that window tomorrow. But please, the sales start at 12. Immediately 12 o'clock, we'll announce with the link, with the what's it called? With the details on how to pay. Just look at this. Yes, it's just commitment fee. That's what it is. Is it 2,999? That's what you pay. That's the only thing you pay. To join the wait list, in the description of this video, there is a link. Click it and it takes you to the wait list. If you cannot get in with the link, see the number on my screen. Send the chat to that number and they will send you to the wait list, right? That's all you need to do. We're also going to be announcing on our social media platforms tomorrow when the flash sale starts. We're going to be hitting in our emails when the flash sale. Just join the wait list. It makes it so easy. We already have 3,000 people waiting for this wait list. Don't kid yourself. If you miss it, you miss out, and that is it. So tomorrow you will start all of the process, all of the payment, and we cannot wait to have you in the sex educate your child like a pro. Most importantly, I can't wait to give you those 2 new guides, guided fingers and guided hands. I have been creating this thing for God knows how long, and it's finally here, and I'm giving it free to those guys, just you who will be able to make the wait list. Share with your family and friends. Don't miss this offer for anything. If you miss it, you miss out. And if you are in the inner circle, read the instruction in the yard carefully. Don't allow me to say anything here. Just go to the yard. We don't want you to be flooded. Go to the yard, read the instructions carefully. You know where the yard is. Stop asking questions every other place. Read the instruction and follow it. so that you're not swamped by tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining me today. Are we paying ahead? Please, can someone just write I have paid? How? Please, no, it's not. Nobody is paying. You're not paying ahead. It is tomorrow. Tomorrow. Join the wait list. Send a chat to the group. Watch out on any of our social medias. We will be announcing it immediately. It's 12 o'clock. Thank you, everybody. Like I said, if you're a Yada, you know what this dance is about. Thank you, everybody, for joining me today. See you tomorrow. I would also, make a live announcement when we start. In case you missed it, we will see us everywhere. But yeah, don't miss it. Set alarm. Set alarm once it's 12 o'clock. We go off. See you and have an amazing day. Yes, proud the other moment. You shall not be flooded by the storm, right? You are in the ark now, so you shall not be drowned while in. All right, bye. Have an amazing day. And I hope that today you got something out of this conversation to actually implement immediately. I want you to go home, look at the things that you have done, and begin to implement. I am excited to have you at the flash sale tomorrow. See ya. Bye.